you for joining us for Pet Connect. I'm Tara Douglas. We spoke to Mayor Matt Hubbard last week about the upcoming city ordinance for the dogs on the 280 corridor. Most people call them the Walmart dogs, and we also discussed the potential partnership with Greater Birmingham Humane Society in trapping those dogs in a safe manner. And I want to continue talking about the Walmart dogs today. There's been a lot of buzz continuing in the community, a lot of comments on Facebook. There are a lot of well-meaning people that are really wanting to save these dogs, really wanting to help with the dogs. But the reality is that we need to get information out there about how you can help. When I spoke to the shelter about how many volunteers outside of our normal rescue volunteers and outside of our Saturday dog walkers, how many people have come to the shelter asking specifically to help with the Walmart dogs, there's been only one person. So out of a community of 12,000 people, and sometimes it feels like there's 12,000 comments on Facebook, and there's a lot of anger, a lot of emotions involved around these Walmart dogs, we have only had one person who has stepped up and come to the shelter to ask what they can do for the Walmart dogs. And I thought about that when they told me, and I don't think it's that people don't care. I think people care a lot about these dogs. Again, I just think that we need to get the word out to the community how you can help. Because the fact is there that we have 4 of the Walmart dogs at the shelter at the moment. And they have been there since March. I think one was there in February. Here's one dog. This is Kingston. He's been at the shelter for several months. I'll have a picture of another dog. The two of them came together. They are puppies. And they're older now, obviously. They've been there several months. And the problem is that when we have any dogs that are rescued, here's Bowie. He was an adult dog that was rescued. But it's harder to know what to do and to be able to help the older dogs or the older puppies. If we can catch these puppies when they're small, here's Wallaby. Wallaby is a sweet girl also. And if we can catch these puppies when they're small, then there's much better likelihood of being able to save them, to rescue them, to get them into a home. Once they start getting older at the shelter, it is harder and harder to find help. Here's Kai. This is Kingston's litter mate right here. She and Kingston are probably the two that are going to be the hardest at the shelter right now to rescue and to help. They are very fearful. They came to the shelter, like I said, as older puppies. They had been living wild with the Walmart pack, so they're not used to people. And they're the kind of dogs that if you go up to their kennel, they are going to potentially hide from you. The shelter staff has worked with them. They're getting very used to the people there at the shelter, but we've got a lot of work to do to get them adoptable. And Bowie, you can take him out for walks. I hear that some of these dogs in the Walmart pack are dogs that have grown up on the streets, that have been born out there and are continuing to live there. Some of them have been dumped. We suspect that Bowie could be a dog that was dumped because he is friendly with people. You are able to walk him. He's a little bit rough around the edges. And Wallaby obviously is sitting in someone's lap in that picture. Jessica and Ashley Cunningham do so much at the shelter to try to work with these dogs. Wallaby is going to be our best bet at the moment to find a home for her. She will also need some work though. So we've got to think about all of the things that have to happen in order to save these animals. There are several things that need to occur because it's not simply that you can trap these dogs and then all of a sudden they go to the shelter and they can find a home. We just had a recent transport that left last week for New Jersey. We had 34 dogs leave. And someone made the comment on Facebook when we were asking for donations through Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill to get that transport up there. Someone asked, are any of these dogs the Walmart dogs? And that again made me realize that there's a lack of understanding in the community about what needs to happen for those dogs. The 4 dogs that you just saw the pictures of, they cannot be sent to rescue. They are not at a point where they're social enough. So these dogs need someone to come and sit with them, to socialize with them, to teach them that people are not something to be afraid of. And that's part of what has to happen with every dog that comes from the Walmart pack into the shelter. So with 4 there, we need help. We need boots on the ground. We need people to come. And there are different ways that you can help with the Walmart dogs. Now, number one, again, we talked about the ordinance last week. We talked about the potential partnership with Greater Birmingham Humane Society. These dogs are going to have to be trapped. There are videos again on Facebook well-meaning people that come out and they will video these dogs and say these dogs are not bad. They walk up to them, they can hand them food. But there is a huge difference between a dog not being fearful of taking food from a person and you being able to get a leash around that dog's neck and get it into your car. So a vast majority of these dogs will have to be trapped. And then once they're trapped, like I said, there's a long process to get them ready to go somewhere. They have to be housed either at the shelter or in foster. They're going to have vet care. Most of them have heartworms and will have to be treated. They have different kind of issues that will have to be looked at. They have to be socialized. They have to, someone has to behaviorally test them, because the fact is there that these dogs are going to be in varying degrees of being able to be adopted. The smaller puppies, like I said, can go to rescue almost immediately. They can go into homes and be fostered. They will be fine around people. As they get a little older, those dogs like Wallaby, in that picture, the dog that was sitting in a lap, that dog came to the shelter as an older puppy, still very fearful. We need people to come and interact with Wallaby so that we can determine a behavior, figure out what's going to be needed. Wallaby will need to most likely be a local adoption and someone who understands that you're going to have to work with her. So, all of those things have to happen. So if we can support any sort of trapping out there, that's going to help us get those dogs safely, get them to a point to where we can figure out what's happening with them. We can't tell you a blanket statement that none of these dogs are adoptable. Some of them are. Some of them are very adoptable. Like I said, a few may have been just recently dumped by people, sadly. They know they're getting fed out there, so if people don't want their dog and the shelter can't take them, they drive up to the parking lot, put them out, and drive away. So those dogs, of course, will be, again, immediately able to most likely go into a home, but we've got to determine that first. So that support has to be there. Once they start the trapping, then it could be that they need some volunteers to help in this area. So that's one way that you can help. And then I mentioned fostering. Fostering, the one person that has come to help a Walmart dog at the shelter offered to foster. Fostering is not for everyone. I do not suggest that everyone go and adopt a Walmart dog and everyone go and foster a Walmart dog. Everyone's situation is different. You may be in an apartment, can't have a dog. You may have your own dogs. You may have children at your home. You don't need to bring an unknown dog in to try to socialize it and see what's happening. You may just plain not have a household that's proper for that. But if you can, fostering these dogs is an amazing way to get them ready to go to a home. So we can determine so much about them if we can get them into a home setting. And we don't know how long these dogs have been on the streets. So if we can bring them in, we can determine, are they a good fit for an inside dog, or if they need land, or if they need a yard, whatever. But we can't figure that out without foster help. So if that's something that's potential for you, we talk about fostering all the time on here. Unless it's puppies, the fostering would be through the shelter itself, so the Sylacauga Animal Shelter. And if it's tiny puppies, then the Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill might take over the fostering. But either way, you can have them in your home temporarily. You can have all of the supplies provided. You just need to provide the time and the space for the foster situation. But that is available there. Even if you want to take the dog out for a day, not just foster it for a week or a night or a month. You can take a dog out for a day. It's called a doggy day out. And then you can determine a lot about that dog. So that is incredibly helpful once again. And it's another way that you can help with the Walmart dog situation, or any dog at the shelter. We have a shelter full, even though we had 34 dogs leave last week for New Jersey, and we actually had 16 leave for Pennsylvania this week. There's still a shelter full of dogs there. And it's not just Kingston here that needs help, or Bowie. We have a lot of dogs there that need help. So we need volunteers. That's the third way that you can help. Come out, walk these dogs. Bowie can be walked. Wallaby might let you walk her, probably not. She's more of a dog that you need to just sit with and encourage and let her know that she's safe. The black and white dogs, so right there with Kai, not really walkable right now. We've got to have people come out and spend some time with them. Walk them, sit with them. You can help the shelter clean bowls. Like I said, it's a full shelter, so come out and help with that. These dogs need time, and they need to have some people spend some time with them. And folks, I am as guilty as everybody else. I am there every Saturday pulling dogs for the walkers. We foster, but those 4 dogs that you just saw the pictures of, I have walked Bowie once, and I have been in there to sit with Wallaby when she was a smaller puppy, but I get busy when I'm there. I know that those dogs can't come out and walk with the walkers, so I move on to the next dog. And I also have to devote some time to go out and sit with these dogs to encourage them, maybe take them on little trips to see. So we've got to get people out there to help and volunteer. Now, another way that you can help is to, when you're out there, is to take photos of them. If you take one for a doggy day out, if you take them to your home, if you come out to walk dogs, take pictures. Share them on Facebook. Get the word out there. Like I said, those 4 dogs in those pictures we just showed, the Walmart dogs everybody cares so much about, we have got to get them somewhere locally or somewhere where we can physically just take one of them to the person, because they're going to need work. They're going to need someone who really wants to devote that time. A couple of months ago at a council meeting, we had a lady there that had trapped a dog at the Inverness Walmart on 280 there, and she spent a couple of months, I believe, or a little over that, trying to trap this dog. She is one individual that did that, and she's working with that dog. It was a heartfelt, heartwarming story, but we don't have 30 people here in town. There may be upwards of 30 or 40 dogs out there in the Walmart pack. We don't have individuals that are out there wanting to choose a dog and work with them. But even the dogs at the shelter, we're going to need someone that is willing to work with them, someone who wants to take that time and get them home with them and work with them in some way to get them to where they're okay around people. They may always be a little bit fearful, and because of that, we can't send them to rescue. So we absolutely have to have some local help with that. Now, if you can't physically go to the shelter, if you can't physically bring a dog into your home, then another way that you can help is to donate. I mean, like I said, every one of these dogs, it's not a magical you trap the dog goes to a home. These dogs have to have vet care. These dogs have to be fed. These dogs have to, some of them will be injured and have to have more things done to them if they go to the vet right there. So if you can donate, then donate, because that's another way that you can help if you can't physically show up to sit with the dog. But you also want to spread the word. I always say that even if you, that every little bit helps in rescue. So even sharing a post, doing something like that is so important. Talk to your friends and family. Make sure people understand what's needed with these dogs so that we don't have one person that comes out to help with the Walmart dogs. Let's make that number bigger. Let's get the community involved. Everyone's involved on Facebook, but the fact is that these dogs don't need another Facebook post. These dogs need people. They need you there with them. And I know not everyone can do that. That is fine. But there are a lot of people that are perfectly capable of carving out a little time. So think about it. If you're going to sit down and write down a long post and you feel that strongly about what's happening with the Walmart dogs, maybe come to the shelter, sit in the kennel with Kingston, sit in the kennel with Kai, sit down with Wallaby in your lap and write your post there. That's going to help them far more than writing another angry Facebook post. But also, if you have something to say, say it. We've got that ordinance that is proposed by the city that's coming to a public hearing next week on Tuesday at 6 p.m. If you want to say something about it, that is your time to be heard in front of City Council before they vote. So I'm not saying don't say how you feel. If you want to post something, post it. It's important to hold your city leaders accountable, to hold the shelter accountable, to hold those of us in rescue accountable, because your complaints might very well uncover something that needs to be done. It might help in some way. So it is okay to exercise that right, to tell people exactly how you feel. Do that. But please think about doing something where you are there, you're with the dogs, you're helping with that. These dogs themselves need that help. And again, one person has come out to help them. Now, I am not saying that no one else has cared, no one else has helped. Like I said, you can donate, you can spread the word. That is great. We appreciate everyone that's helped. We appreciate our dog walkers on Saturday, but we need more people to step up and help by fostering, by taking pictures, by sitting with these dogs. Those 4 dogs that you saw in those pictures can only be successfully placed in a local home. So please come out. Kingston's available for adoption. He's available to sit there. Bowie's available for adoption. He is a sweet dog. Wallaby right there. Please come out and meet Wallaby. She's available for adoption, and Kai. So all of them can go to a home, but most of them are going to need a lot of help to get to your standard kind of home. So please come out, help at the shelter. If you have any questions, you can message me personally, you can message the shelter, Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill, you can join the Sylacauga Paws Facebook page. There's oftentimes a lot of information there. We are all there to answer your questions, and we appreciate the community. We appreciate the concern for these Walmart dogs. I love that, but we need your help. We need you physically. If you are able to do that, we need you to physically come out and help us. But above all, we need everybody to spay and neuter. I don't want to be talking about this years from now. We want to get this problem fixed, and we got to nip it in the bud. We got to start at the beginning. So one way that you can help this week, Thursday, August 27th, come out to the Spaghetti Supper. That is through the Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill. All of the funds that we raise there are going to our spay and neuter program. And we are going to keep pushing spay and neuter like we always have, so that we can stop all these problems that we have with stray dogs and cats on the streets here in Sylacauga. Like I said, if we can get people supporting it, talk to your friends and family, make sure that they're spaying and neutering. Come out and buy a spaghetti plate. Help us have the funds so that we can spay and neuter. Then that's how we're going to fix this problem from the beginning. And like I said, I do not want to be here talking about this years from now. So please come out and help us. Please get the spay and neuter funds there for us. We appreciate everyone's help. And come on out and meet all the dogs at the shelter, and especially those 4 Walmart dogs that you saw in the pictures. Thank you so much for listening to me and joining me for Pet Connect this morning. We'll have more Daybreak after these messages.